Greetings, it's Nika. Welcome to Nika Knows. I am working on something with a friend of mine, and we are detailing my suicide attempts. So right now I just wrote down 5 and why I did the attempts, and I'm going to be talking to her, and I'm just recording this in case it helps somebody. This is a day of light. Share it with people who need it. Like and subscribe, and yeah. All right, so the first thing I have, they should have titles on it, right? It says the shot in the heart. So the method was to shoot myself in the heart, and the same, in that same suicide, in that same moment when that didn't work, I tried to hang myself on a curtain rod with a belt, and why I did it was because there was a misunderstanding with me and my friend, my boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriend, who was my friend at the time, some stuff like that. I had done broke up with another lover of mine who bought me some things and took them back from me and snatched the necklace off my chest. You know, you see that in the movie, but it's really impactful. It's a real thing. It's real. Like, you really be like, how dare you, you know? Like, violence ensues. But with the lover whose house I was in at that time, he bought me some tires. He offered to buy me some tires. Like, we was in a tire place, he offered to buy them. I had money, I was working. And I was like, okay. And then something happened in the conversation, and probably had to do with how me and the other lover fell out, some kind of way. But he said something that gave me the impression that he would be willing to take the tires from me, that he bought for me, that I was waiting for him to put on my car. So, it triggered me. I felt like I saw a pattern in him, what he was doing, that was like what the other person did. And I was trying to explain that to him, and he wasn't getting it. And it just got out of hand. I just started losing hope, like, in our relationship. Separation has always been a trigger for me. I found out after I was triggered plenty of times, you know, after many suicide attempts. I found that out, but, you know, so I can say now that, you know, the separation, the thought of us having to separate, being apart from each other, breaking up, was a lot. And I just couldn't get through to him. And it was like he just saw me becoming crazy, you know, I guess. And I'm feeling like he's seeing me as a crazy person, you know, and, you know, I get to this point where I'm like repeating the same thing, you know, like, you did, like, you tried to take the tires from me. You said X, Y, Z. You said this. You said, like, I'm not crazy. Like, this is what you said. I'm trying to tell you that when you said this, this is what I got, and this is what I'm saying it's leading to. And he's trying to convince me, you know, I wouldn't take the tires. I wouldn't take the tires from you. You know, I know what I said, but I wouldn't take them. But, you know, I'm stuck on what I see. So, I'm just really upset. I go to the back. I'm crying. I got 1 minute left. We got 5 stories. We got 25 minutes total. So I go to the back. I knew he had this gun. I got the gun, and I just wanted to end my life quickly. So it was a BB gun. So I knew I would have to shoot it multiple times for it to penetrate me. So it was loaded and everything. And, you know, I went through all the motions, and I shot the gun, and it didn't shoot. The safety was on. I didn't know that. But it didn't shoot. So I did it again. You know, I went through the motions again. It's hard. You're trying to kill yourself. You know, it's like you really have to do this. You have to make the decision to pull the trigger. And I do it again, and it doesn't shoot. So this enrages me. I'm angry, and I take the back of the gun, and I'm like, beating down the wall, like beating a hole in the wall, and, you know, I'm writing, like, after a while, after I calm down and stuff like that. calm down enough. I'm writing on the wall. That's my 5-minute timer. And he comes in there because he hears it, right? And so I wasn't writing on the wall yet, but I run in the bathroom because he's mad. He actually drags me out the room. I've never been dragged before. I felt like Tina Turner or something, and he was never violent towards me except for that, and physically. And then, so after, I'm like, don't drag me. I'm back to my senses. Don't drag me. Like, I'm a human being. You don't drag me. And then I run in the bathroom. He's going off somewhere. He can't handle it. And I get a belt or something they had in there, and I like tied a certain way to where it would lock. Like, I don't even know how I did it, but it would lock around. Anyway, he came in there, so I just fell to drop, but it was a curtain ride, so the whole ride fell. So it wasn't like and then my godmother came, he called them. I went in the room, I wrote all over the walls, Ranika loves you, I love you, stuff like that, and little stuff. And I got on the floor and I was just crying. He had called my godmother over and she came behind me and I was in like fetal position, and she just held me and she was like, I want you to come with me. And I was like, I want to go with him. And she was like, I want you to come with me. And I was like, okay. That was that. All right. Next, I guess I got 3 minutes. Definitely can't do that in 3 minutes. Let's do the pills in 3 minutes. All right, so the next method is pills. This was my first suicide attempt. The pills I took was a mixture of pills, like 4 different pills. I had probably something for stomach, probably something for pain, probably something for sinuses, some whatever medicines I was taking at the time. And I took like a bottle. I took all my pills and I put them in one bottle. I shook them up and I just gulped them. And I drank them with some water and I laid down. I was ready to go to sleep. I didn't write a note for that. I didn't write a note for the shooting with the heart either. And I went to sleep. I stayed asleep somehow for 2 days. I woke up on the couch. My family was still living with me out like that. They didn't take me to the hospital. I don't know why. Probably because, my mother was familiar with. My mother also had suicide attempts. She probably knew it was gonna be fine. And I mean, if I went to the hospital, they probably would have did a whole investigation. Mama, please forgive me. I know that had to be so hard. And she probably would have lost all her children because she also had mental conditions and stuff like that. So they probably wouldn't even try to hear what she said and had to say. And the reason why I did it because me and my sister got in a fight over the telephone. And it just got so bad that, we both wanted to talk on the telephone. It was a bit of not a misunderstanding, but, I wanted to call my boyfriend, let him know I made it home. She was on the phone with her boyfriend. And I'm like, well, let me just call him and tell him I made it home. And she was like, no, it's like a power thing. You can't just come get the phone. And it didn't make sense to me. So we did so much to where we actually started fighting each other. And she told me she hated me. And I was like, I can't live in a world where my sister hates me. And I went and took the pills. But I woke up. I was high, and life went on. Nothing else happened. Then the tapped wrist. So I talked about this in a different video. The taped wrist and the slit hands. The reason why I was doing it is because I wanted to die happy. I just got off the medication. I was doing everything I felt that I could try to do to try to help myself, even through the medical community, getting another psychiatrist, getting a integrative psychiatrist, getting a new psychologist for therapy, and I was eating well and, just really trying to do the soul search. I felt like I had my mind because I had gotten off of medicine. And it just wasn't working out. And it seemed like I had run out of money, was beginning to run out of money after these months of trying to get this help. And the psychiatrist won't give me clearance for the psychologist to give me psychotherapy, and neither one of them will write me back to work. And I'm just in this cycle. I'm in limbo. I need to make money, and and I found out I need hypnotherapy way too late, and to remember my childhood, because I didn't have it. And I just was like, you know what, like, I tried, but one thing that's not gonna happen is I'm not about to die sick. I'm not about to die like a zombie on medication, and I'm not about to die. I'm not about to wait till it's all bad. You know, I have my mind. I understand I don't need to be in this place. I went in, it was a 2-try attempt. So the first day, I went out, I took the little money I had, and I went and bought all the things that I liked. I went and got some Church's biscuits. I went to this restaurant, I got me some shrimp fried rice. I went and got me some Andy Mints. I had a little trouble going into the places. And also, I ain't really had the money. I sat in the car and I couldn't bring myself to ask somebody to beg for money. At some point, I actually looked in my car. I had money in the car, and I got somebody. I probably got somebody to get it. I had on this skirt, and I gave it to this girl, probably maniac, but I didn't think I was gonna live. She liked it. She liked it, so I gave it to her. And I went home to take my wrist, because I heard that it would stop the blood from flowing, and it will make, you need blood flow to the heart. And it was painful as the blood piled up in my body. I took it off, went to sleep. I woke up, went to go kiss my niece, but she was at school. I went and hugged my sister. I told her I love her. I act like everything was fine. I looked fine, and I went to the lake. I wrote a little note, and I tried to slip my wrist. It was painful. I wasn't on medication, and trying to commit suicide off medication is so much harder than trying to do it while you're on medication. Because on medication, you really don't care about the pain and stuff like that. You got a plan, you got a goal, and you do that. Off the medication, you have your emotions, you got intuition, you got angels, and all kind of stuff working that you have access to, that is like, and specifically, it was painful. So I couldn't do it on my wrist. I have tried to slip my wrist before in high school, after the pills. I don't remember, I didn't write that down, but I know I had, because I used to have to wear bracelets to cover my wrist. But I slipped the vein in my hand, saw the blood, wound up at the hospital. Horrible experience. That was that. Then I have the starvation and the walk into the ravine. So the walk in the ravine, this was my first episode before any hospitalization, where I completely lost control of my body. I walked to go get something to eat. On campus, the normal thing. I love to eat. This was my favorite place on campus. And I had some peas, and I went to go eat the peas, and I had trouble, like, getting the peas to my mouth or something like that. Like, I couldn't eat the peas. And then I felt like also in my stomach, like my body wouldn't receive it. And I tried to eat something else, and I just realized I was feeling funny. And I called somebody, and I told them, one of my sweet mates, and I was like, something not right, I'm not okay, and it was like, well, just come back to the room. So I'm trying to walk to the room, and as I'm walking, I'm feeling my feet go away. I'm moving in a direction that is not the way I'm trying to go. I cannot, in my head, I'm literally saying to myself, what are you doing, Ranika? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I'm literally in my head and having no control of my body. Where are you going? And I'm walking in the street. There's cars coming, trying to get across the street to the ravine, and I'm screaming as loud as I can for a voice in the head, to trying to hold myself. Like, what are you doing? This has happened other times in my life, but this is, it happened also with me trying to jump off a bed, off a 6-foot bed. No, it wasn't 6 feet. It was 10 feet. I was 10 feet on a loft in the bed that was 10 feet high. And I woke up, and, I was trying to hold the wall, because I felt that something was going to come inside of me and do like it did when I tried to walk into the ravine and make me jump off of this bed and hurt myself. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. I was completely lost control of myself. It caused a lot of fear in my daily interactions because I never knew when I could lose control of myself, hurt someone else, what. But by the time I actually got like so close to the ravine, I was able to like some kind of way keep straight, like turn or something. Like it was so crazy. Like it was almost like something like I don't know. I explain it in another a shorter video because we are trying to keep the time. But okay, good. So I make it to where I can get to the bridge of the ravine and not walk into the ravine to my demise. This was not a plan at all. I was happy trying to eat and become more happy. This was also around the time I believe my mama died at this time. My mama had recently died. This is my second semester in college. Excuse me. I was also planning to go and meet with some people to go and work at Disney World. So there could have been a lot of anxiety or something around that. I don't know. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I gave a reason for all the other times, and for this, I don't. It wasn't my decision in any kind of way. It wasn't my decision, like a voice in my head tried to make me commit suicide, and it wasn't my own decision. I have had a voice before that. But what wound up happening is I got over the bridge, I walked to the room, I got to the building where I live, and my sisters, I was a big Christian in college, had a big community, never a Bible pusher, like, blah, 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 but just a person that people would come and pray, come to for prayer, be in the prayer circle at 12 o'clock in front of student unions type thing. And so they came, and I just broke down, and I was just screaming, Jesus, Jesus. I just kept Jesus, like, just because that's what you do. You call on Jesus. My mom said call on Jesus. That's what you do. Whenever I had these experiences, I called the name of Jesus, and that's what kind of got me out of it. And then they walked me to another room, and they were trying to figure out what happened to get me to this point. I had to calm down at that point, and I realized I ain't had no memory. I couldn't remember my sister's name. I forgot my mama had died. And this didn't last long. It could have been 3 minutes. It could have been 30 minutes. I honestly don't remember. It just was, crazy. And then I went on to regular life. How much time I got? I got time for one more?
We got time for one more.
All right. The last one is starvation. This was the biggest one. It was the most beneficial suicide attempt I ever had. To make sure I get the sum in it, I was able to get off of medicine with this starvation attempt. It was because my sister decided that she wanted to eject herself from the group. So she sent us a text message shortly after my grandfather died. This is before his funeral. This is also around the time that my mama had died, probably like maybe the 5th or 6th anniversary of her death. I don't know. She died in 2007. I think this happened in 2016. I'm not sure. But she sent a text, and she was just like, I'm blocking y'all, and y'all don't call me to see if I need anything, and I'll reach out to y'all, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, we could leave marriage or folk? Like, I ain't know that. Like, my mom was like, y'all gotta stick together no matter what. The two youngest ones had the same daddy, and the two oldest ones got the same daddy. I'm the third one. I didn't know that we could just leave. I had been suffering. I was diagnosed in 2012. This is 2016. I had the episode I just told you about, probably like 2009. It had to be like 2009, 2008. And it's like, man, if we could leave, I'm the one that's about to go. Like, you got your family, you got your family, you got your family. All of my sisters and brothers, they got their family. My boyfriend or my friend who I'm messing with, I'm not even sure if we about to be in a relationship or not. We going through the motions. And I ain't gotta be here. I come and I show up and I smile at the parties because y'all say, y'all, Nika, come through, you know, keep living, keep trying, you know, don't give up. I do that for y'all. I don't want to be here. I'm not happy here. I don't like this place. I never did. I never liked this life. I have enjoyed this life and I am grateful for my life. But from a child, I've always wondered, like, what is this? I know I couldn't have come from this. This is not home. This is not my home. So, Inigo got a song called Alien. Check it out. It explains so much to me. It's not my home. But I too give the method. So that was the reason why. And I decided I didn't want to kill myself this time. I wanted God to kill me. If God wanted me to die, I was just going to die. Some slow suicide, you know, but I didn't want to put alcohol and stuff in my body because I was trying to eat healthy too. I don't know, y'all, it's crazy, but what wound up happening is I went to my lover. Actually, I'll do all that in another video. The short form is for 3 days. I didn't eat. On the 4th day, I wanted to attend the wake to at least allow my family to tell me bye, but I realized that if I had passed out, they was going to send me to the hospital. So I said too much too fast, but I thought that I wanted to see them at the wake. So on the 3rd night, I took 3 spoons of of oil. I took olive oil, a spoon of olive oil, a spoon of coconut oil, and a teaspoon of salt, and like 4 ounces of water. I drank that at night. It made me stay up a little bit. I woke up early and I walked from New Orleans to Kenner. We really got to find out how many miles that is, huh? From St. Roch in New Orleans, St. Roch in Claiborne, to Roosevelt and Airline in Kenner. And I did a lot of walking, ran around the park, went to the library, all kinds of stuff, trying to tire myself out so I can starve and die. Because I've heard that 3 days without food and water, your organs fail. 3 days without liquids, your organs fail and you die. And at the end of the night, I realized I wasn't seeing things, I wasn't hearing things, which is something that I was experiencing. I wasn't sick, even though it was really cold outside, something that I would usually get so sick and snuffy. Want me to look? Okay, I can do this. And none of those things was happening. I was like trying to decide, am I going to go over the bridge, walk down Airline and go over the bridge towards Baton Rouge until I die? Or was I going to walk back around Kenner again? I was tired of walking around Kenner. And I saw something, I saw a church, and it just seemed like, you know, I looked up. The way I remember it, I was looking up into like a night sky. And I was like, you know, why I feel so good? What's up, guy? You know, I always talk to God. And I'm about to wrap it up. And I was like, you know, why I feel so good? And it felt like God laughed at me and was like, you could always have this. You could always have this. So I was like, okay, well, look, if I make it back to New Orleans, you know, without nobody helping me, without passing out, nothing like that, then I'll try life again. I made it all the way home, and then I had to walk somewhere else because my door was locked. And then I had to get home and explain to everybody why I had, you know, did all this when other people trying to get to my grandfather's funeral in the country. So these are just a list of my suicides. At some point, I'll go back and go through the types of suicides. They have 4 types by Durkheim: fatalistic, anomic, altruistic, egoistic. And then they have these 7 types that I was looking for. I can't find them, but they really explain the suicides in more depth. And, you know, I told you what to do in the beginning. Put some sparklies in my comments because I like those things. And go on sparkle, y'all.